Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is Saturday evening. Whew, what a day. So far, so good. I am here. I am upright. That's a good thing. It's about almost 6:30 here. So, welcome everybody. And I should hang on here. I'm going to change this. Just hang on here. I got a little thingy. I'm going to change. I'm going to call it. So I'm hoping everybody's doing fabulous this evening. There we go. Okay. Save this. And this is what we're going to call it this evening. We're calling it the Guru Mama Spiritual Cocktail Hour. That's what we're calling it. It's not the coffee corner. It's a little late for coffee, unless you want coffee. You can go have a coffee, no problem, or a cup of tea, whatever it is. But we're going to call it Spiritual Cocktail Hour. And whatever kind of cocktail you want, you can have a cocktail with something in it. You can have a cocktail without something in it, whatever your pleasure is. So welcome everybody. I wanted to talk a little bit about money. Want to talk about money? I want to talk about the economy and what this all means. On Friday, the states declared that they are in a recession. And so it's official. Like it's official now. People, it's like sort of sinking in to the masses, right? And we have a Venus square Saturn coming up. The Venus went over the node. So as Venus went over the North Node, it really created some energy there because Taurus is the bullion. Taurus is about money. And a lot of people don't want to talk about money. Money ain't spiritual. Money, this. It's not about the money. This, it's about connection and where you are putting the money towards. You see, this isn't about, shortaging or, working the market or whatever. That's not what this is about. This isn't about trying to find the best deal to get the quick buck or anything like that. That's very South Node Scorpio. So if you are in it to gamble, which is Scorpio, Scorpio rules gambling. The addiction part comes in the Pisces, but with Neptune. But when it comes to gambling or taking chances, that's South Node. When we go to the North Node, which is in Taurus, it's about longevity. It's about connection. How are you making this work for you? How are you making this work for your community? So if you are wanting to create something, put it towards something, that's what this energy is for. So this is really about moving forward in a way. And it is with that Venus, because Venus is all about relationships, Saturn's all about restrictions, and he's in Aquarius. So there are restrictions. So he brings in restrictions. He wants to restrict you. Now that, Aquarius, all signs have a good side and a bad side, right? So the bad side of restricting, what do we want to restrict you on? What do we want to take away from you? And then with the South Node in Scorpio, it can enhance it. If we move, and especially since Venus is going to Algol, I'm calling this spiritual cocktail hour, and he is the demon star. So there's this energy that wants to come up, manipulate, take over, get you fearful. Oh my God, we're in a recession. Okay, yeah, we're in a recession. What does that mean? This is a high time, a beautiful time that you can create a lot of abundance for yourself. Really, it is. If you get into the fear mode, if you get into the lack mode, and it's very easy to do that, especially if you are a person who's a homeowner, if you are a person who does investments, if you are a person, who works a lot with, wanting to create money for self, which I understand we all do. But this is with this Venus squaring Saturn, excuse me, I haven't even had a sip. I do have what do I have? A mango peach gin smash. That's what I got. A mango peach gin smash. That's what I got. It's actually quite refreshing. It's very nice. Um, yeah, it's a very nice drink. Anyways, uh, it's gonna knock me flat on my ass and gonna fall asleep. That's what's gonna happen after this. But what this energy wants to do, it wants to create community. So, what are you doing to reach out to your community? What are you doing to create community? Today, I took a lot of things to um, a drop box, recycled clothing. There was a whole crap load of books downstairs that were kids' books, and Olivia didn't want them. And I really didn't want to be, taking them and carrying them from one place to another place. And there were quite some really nice books in there. Anyways, and so I dropped them off and I dropped some other things off there. And then I went through and there was a pile of some clothes sitting in a corner. So I went through the pile of clothes. So went out and it is a outreach program that I dropped this off. And we were talking, they were there picking it up, and we're talking to the person loading up the little transit truck or the transit. And he was saying that all of this goes to Value Village. And I went, oh, really? I thought it went to cerebral palsy kind of. He goes, no, but part of their donations or a portion of what Value Village does is that they have portions where they have, okay, first we pay our overhead, we pay our staff, then a portion goes to whatever charity that they're donating to. And the same thing goes to those charities because they have their overhead, their people they have to pay, etc. Right? So I was thinking, I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, so I'm donating all this stuff, which is fine. I don't mind. Actually, I really don't mind because I really don't need it in my home right now, as we are moving somewhere. Somewhere we are moving somewhere. We just don't know yet. We're moving somewhere. So this is where, what can you do for your community? My first thing came in. First thing I was thinking of, I'm like, holy crap, maybe I need to open a consignment shop or a secondhand shop. And I'm just like, oh my Lord, that is a huge undertaking. But I mean, I threw the energy out there. But that's where it is. It's like maybe you've been, this is about getting together with community. This is about gathering. That's what this energy is all about. And as we go forward, we're going to see huge panics come in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. We're going to see some crazy things happen with the market. And if the market drops too low, they will close it for a couple hours. If it drops again, they'll close it for the whole day. So this is where we are going to be seeing some really crazy energies start coming in and great fear coming in. There's going to be things like somebody wrote to me, like France is doing a lockdown, a environmental lockdown. I kind of chuckled to myself because I'm like, oh, okay. But why go into the fear of it? Why get scared of it? It's the same way when I talk about people prepping, and I'm talking about prepping in a smart, intelligent way, not in a panic way. That's where this energy is. If you're going to go into the panic mode, man, it's going to chop you to pieces. It's going to spit you up. Because South Node is in Scorpio, and Scorpio is just going to just trample over. You want to come into crazy land? You want to come into a place that's going to chop you up, and a place that doesn't give a shit? Well, South Node Scorpio, that's very much where it's at. And that's where you go and you look, well, where's the North Node? The North Node is in Taurus. It's about building something, creating something. Now, things, my phone recording it. Things are just, and as the nodes are starting to really move right now, they've sort of been sitting there for a little bit. Now they're going to start to move, and it's going to start heading towards Uranus. So we're going to start seeing some erratic, crazy changes starting to happen. And it's going to be where we are going to either play into it, or we're going to be sitting there watching it and saying, you know what? Okay. Yeah, they can talk about this shortage and that shortage and this uppage and that uppage. This is where it's like, okay, well, maybe I'm going to have a stay vacation. And I'm going to work on my garden, or I'm going to take some classes and learn how to hydroponic, or I'm going to learn how to can and take a canning class. whatever it is. This is a fabulous time if somebody wants to, within your community, want to go to your community hall and say, hey, do you have a commercial kitchen? Because I want to teach some canning classes. There you go. This is where the energy's at. This is what creates abundance. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, but that's so much work. Yeah, it is work. This is a time to work. This isn't a time to hide in your house. This isn't a time to hide away. This isn't a time to say, oh, woe is me. This is a time to get up off your freaking asses and let's get motivated. Really, it is. This is about one of the other reasons I got out and got a job was, yes, I needed to bring more abundance into my house, but I also had to get out of my house. It's getting out. It's interacting. Remember, this is where you see a bunch of people running in one direction. What do? You go in the opposite direction. You see everybody freaking out about money. You go in the opposite direction and stop freaking out about money. This is a time to maybe, even look at Abraham Hicks. She's got those cute little cartoon ones out there. Listen to some old Wayne Dyer. Get, Excuses Be Gone. This is where the energy's at. You want to create abundance, and abundance is not only financial. Abundance is with love, with community. It's with health. This is where it's at. And this is where the energy is going. Now, you've heard me talk about the craziness, about everything else that was going on. Now, there's some more crazy. We're not out of the crazy. We won't be out of crazy for a long time. But this is how you are going to react to the crazy. It's about creating your abundance. It's about getting out there and doing what you need to do. If by chance, even though the market is saying, don't buy, and blah, 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 if we had inherited or we won the lottery, would I buy some land? Damn freaking rights I would. I'd be buying a home right now, somewhere that is, by a nice little stream or whatever, and I'd buy some land. That's what I would do if I had the actual money to do it, not leverage the money. Now, if you have a lot of money and then you go and leverage, this isn't a time to leverage your money. This isn't a time to play with that kind of shit. Really, it is. This is where you're going to see it's not only going to be California that's going to have a crazy time, but you're going to see it in Texas and you're going to see it in the Midwest. So like places like Idaho and Montana, Colorado, people who moved out and want and leveraged their money. They had money. Instead of using their own money and investing it, which would have been getting them ahead of the game, they leveraged it. And with the interest rates the way that they're going, that's the whole thing. If you're leveraging your money right now and gambling with it, it's not a good thing. Just saying, this is where people are going to really lose out. This is where people are going to have difficulties, right? And have those difficulties. And as I, was talking to Steve, I said, right now, if we have to go into a $1,000 a month apartment and have our, and that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, give me a basement suite with everything included. Yes. Where I can just sort of put forward, this is what I'm doing, and create my abundance, create my community and rebuild my community. That's where the energy is, to create that love, to create that harmony, and get out there and make those connections. That's where it's at. And if you are doing any markets or anything like that, make sure the markets have speakers. Get out there and start talking to people. Get out there and start connecting with people. And speakers can be from anybody from an astrologer to a psychic to a medium, whatever, to somebody who does horticulture, permaculture, somebody who knows anything about soil, prepping, anything like that. This is where you start thinking outside the box. Just throwing it out there to anybody who's doing markets right now. Get people in there that talk about other things, because that you might, because a lot of times, with a lot of markets that I go to, they're all spiritual people and stuff like that. And it's great and it's wonderful. And I love listening to a lot of them and, listening to the harmony and talking to the angels and stuff. And it's great. Right now, my angels are saying, yeah, thanks for talking to me. Now what? Now, what are you going to do about it? Right? So finding or going out and, ooh, there's a flash of light that just came out. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was so weird. And there's nothing around me that can do that. Honestly. Okay, that was weird. Anyways, if you can get out there and do those connections, wow. Wow. That would be that's where it's at. That's where it's at. If you're able to get out to any music festivals or anything like that, go for it. If you are able to get to any there's a medieval festival that's coming up here in the Calgary area. There's Calgary Folk Fest that's coming up. Connection, getting out there with people. That's where this energy is. This energy is not about hiding away, not about being fearful, but about connecting with people and getting out and getting connected. And if you're going to stay in that fear mode and you're going to hide away, or you're going to freak out because you're afraid, oh my God, prices are rising. Yeah, prices are rising. Do you know back in the day, in the gold rush, when the gold rush happened in California, it was crazy the prices that were happening back then. And people thought they're astronomical. So they were paying pretty much what we're like when you look at it with inflation and everything else, they're paying a lot like we are now. They didn't have gas for, because they didn't have cars yet, or they had cars, but not everybody was driving them in that time, or they were talking about them. But this was a time of, where people were panicking and freaking out because everything was going sky high. So markets move, they come and they go. Money rises, money falls, and money changes. And that's because it's energy. So when you look at things that rise and fall, you know that there's a change. But what can be constant within you? And what are your values? I remember there was a class I teach a class on values. I used to. And talking to people about values and what your values are. So take a moment and think, what are your values? What are your top 5 values when it comes to your spirituality? When it comes to your relationships? When it comes to your health? When it comes to your family? What are your values with that? Where do they sit? What's important to you? That's where this energy's at. Start looking at those types of things. When I was in grade 6, I'm trying to think because of my school. No, I think I was in grade 7. My school burnt down. And in grade 7, we had a teacher. We had quite a few teachers that year. It's crazy. I went to school part-time because my school burnt down. So we had part-time school. And we had one teacher that came in and started talking about values and putting down, the things that are important to us. And I can remember distinctly the very number one thing that I put down as my values was God. And kids laughed at me because they're like, God, that's stupid. And I thought, I felt very embarrassed because I was, a bumbling kid in grade 7. But I was thinking, no, it was God, then family. Those things were important to me. Having God, having my family. And then things like, stuff came in, maybe a house or, things that I didn't think too much about health back then, but that's where you start to look at what is important to you in your life. And still to this day, I got to say, yes, my family is very important, but my God comes first in my life. My spirituality, my connection to my being, because when I have that, I can be stronger for those around me. That's how I look at it. That's part of my values. Part of my values is having that connection with the divine. Not saying I'm perfect. God, I'm far from being perfect. But it is having that connection, which is so, so important. So just had to come on here and talk to you guys for a little bit and let you know what's going on. The shizzy's going to start hitting next week. I said July things are going to get crazy, starting to get crazy for July, August, and then going into the fall into October and November. So after this summer solstice, which is a very powerful summer solstice, this summer solstice is coming in as a powerhouse of energy. So it's for us to step forward in this powerhouse of energy of what we want to put forth with this summer solstice. So this is the Lilith energy. So what is it that you want to create? What is it that you want to burn? What is it that you want to let go? Lilith comes in to connect and wants you to connect with that higher energy of self and bring forth your values. So let's bring it forth. Let's begin to create a higher energy, vibrational energy, and so that we can start creating more. That's what I'm starting to do, is creating a higher vibrational energy. Am I still looking for a home? Yeah, I'm still looking for a home. It'll be what it'll be. What'll happen. And you know what? I know things seem crazy right now, but it's okay. It's okay. So on the 25th and 26th next week, I will be having my garage sale. So if there's anybody who is missed out on the other one, I'm going to be having a garage sale on the 25th and 26th next week, which is Saturday, Sunday. So I even had somebody come in today. They wanted you to buy things because they would be able to buy things next week. So if you want to come in and get things, definitely get a hold of me and, maybe make an appointment and you can come in and take a look at some of the stuff that I have for sale. More things. I'm finding some more things to add to it. Not a lot. I think I got the majority of stuff out there. But what that gets me to do is like, my mind is going like, that's a fly that just flew by, on what to do and how to create abundance. So this really gets me thinking about how to get, I guess we'll call them pickers, but that's what pickers do. They go around and they go to other garage sales and they pick, and then they bring it back to theirs and then they resell it. Now, not that I can have a what do you call it? A garage sale, probably where I'm moving to in the new place, wherever that is. But my mind is going on wanting to create another place or something else to be able to create or pass on abundance to other people in different ways. So yeah, just my mind's going. It's not good when my mind gets going. That's that Gemini sun. So anyways, I have a sale on my summer sale. 1 hour readings are $99. Kathy asked, she goes, I thought you're taking July and August off. I can still do a couple readings on my days off. That's what I'm planning on doing. So that's fine, but I'm not going to be teaching. What I'm thinking of doing is to create and really help people, is that I am going to begin recording some of my classes, and those who've purchased them will get the recording of my classes. And of course, if there's any questions or concerns, they can get a hold of me from there. That's what I'm thinking of doing, just to free up some of my time and not to let anybody feel like they're dangling and that I'm forgetting them, because I really am not. So sending you guys out so much love. I'm going to go sit and put my foot up, because it's hell getting old sometimes. Things start to swell that you don't want to swell. So my one foot, I got elephant foot right now. So I'm going to go put my foot up and sending you guys out so much love. Thank you so much for being a part of my life, so much for being a part of my community. Let's get out there. Let's make it grow. Let's shine in your light, babies. Shine your light. And don't let anybody dim your light. If they're trying to dim it, make it brighter. Make it brighter. So may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Blessed be everybody. And we'll connect tomorrow. And I'll let you know how those places are. So blessed be. Bye-bye.